All right. First off, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach, woman like Yahushua. That's all honor and glory to the Most High God through His Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man. Right? Back at it again, man, with another debunking, unraveling the scriptures, man, which is a channel that I stumbled across on YouTube. I think I'm gonna do, 2 in 1 today. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna go into the video because these are the lies and the strongholds put upon our people. They put it out there really to confuse the people, confuse our people more than any other people, man. Right? So we're gonna go through it, watch the video, and see what they're teaching in the video. And if there be anything that's a lie, hey, we're gonna bring the lie out, right? And we're gonna actually show what the truth is through the precepts, man. But first, let me get an opening precept. All right. Let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17.
I get it for you, King.
Con,
this is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do, in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord, Yahushua, giving thanks to God and the Father by Him.
right. So everything we do it all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, man. Right? Giving thanks to the Most High God. Right? Give me the book of Ephesians 4 and 11. Who has a bad echo, me or your call?
It's got to be me.
All right, I got to mute when you read. That's all it is. It's all good.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 11. And He gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach.
Right. So everything we do is for the edifying of the body of Yahushua. So let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and read verse number 4.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
Right. So we're here to pull down the strongholds, man. And these videos will be strongholds, right? Let's read on a little bit more. It's a little more on that.
God, casting down the imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach.
See that? So everything that is created to be working against the Most High God and His Son is a stronghold on our people's mind. This video that we're about to play and debunk is literally something created that's against the Most High God. Why? Because the truth is found in the precepts, in the scriptures. And they're not going by the precepts in the scriptures. They're setting forth things out there just to deceive us, man. Right? That's all it is. So let's go to it.
This should be interesting, man.
Yeah, I ain't watched the video yet, man. So first, live reaction, man. All right, let's get it. So this is a title. The title of the channel is called Unraveling the Scriptures, right? And as you can see, they got 93,000 subscribers, 21,000 views on this, man. So let's get it.
And interesting peoples in the Welcome to Unraveling the Scriptures channel. Undoubtedly, one of the most enigmatic and interesting peoples in the entire Bible is the Semitic people, descendants of Shem, Noah's firstborn. But after all, who is Shem? Who is this?
I'm gonna stop right there because he already told a lie, right? First of all, if his name is Shem, then they would be called Shemitic people, not Semitic people, right? But he told a lie. He called Shem Noah's firstborn. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 21. Unto Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. So Japheth was the elder. Japheth is the firstborn, not Shem. Shem will be what you call the so-called middle child, man. Right? But his name goes first because he was the chosen one of the Most High God. Right? But he literally was the second born child.
Character, this ancestral father of Abraham. I will be creating specific videos for each of Noah's sons. If you are already subscribed to our channel, please leave a like to motivate us to continue our studies and videos.
And they got him looking like a damn Edomite, right? Yeah. How does
crusty?
he
look like E.T.
Yeah, man. He do kind of look like E.T., man. It's madness, man. Let's go to Genesis. If you could grab and he formed man from the dust of the ground. I believe it's
See chapter.
Select. It should be chapter 2.
Yeah, I think 26.
No, I ain't got 26.
I was looking at
It's 19. It's 19. Genesis 2 and 19.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 19. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. Yo, mute, King.
Genesis 2 and 7. Salakia.
God. This book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse number 7. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So it says the Most High formed man from the breath from the dust of the ground. So if the Lord formed man from the dust of the ground, why is this on this picture that they're showing Shem as a so-called white man? Right? What dust on the ground is white, man? Right? What dirt is white, man? Right? And let's get a precept. Let's go to the classic. Let's go to Genesis 25 and 25. Right? Showing you that when the first so-called white man was created. Let's find out if it was Shem.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse number 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
So the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau, the so-called white man, will be the first so-called white man. And the whole reason why they described Esau and not Jacob was because Esau looked different from everybody else. So this is not, Shem was not a so-called white man. Shem was not a damn Edomite, man. Shem, hey, you know who got that mark? Let's go back. Go to Genesis chapter 4. Genesis chapter 4 and read verse 12.
This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 12.
No, start at 14. We're going to get to the point.
It reads, verse 14, Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Read on. It's more on that. I'm going to get to the point. Read.
Verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
This mark that was set upon Cain was literally what? The mark of no melanin, man. Leprosy. So it's easy to identify this man. It's not hard to identify him because everybody was a so-called dark-skinned man. So Shem would have been a so-called dark-skinned man. So the first time somebody was given a mark of having no melanin or being a so-called white man was literally Cain, man. Right? So Shem, which is Noah's son, came later on. Is Shem a descendant of damn Cain? No. All the people from Cain literally died before during the flood, man. Right? Noah would have been a dark-skinned man. Right? Let's go back to it. Now I'm gonna go back to the video.
Yeah, the so-called white man can't blend in, man. When a lot of times when you hear about these tales from Africa and these missionaries and things like that, they thought Esau was a ghost. They thought he was undead, man, supernatural.
Yep.
Because Esau be so pale sometimes, skin kind of seems see-through. You know,
Huh.
so there's no way in hell he can
Those who
blend
are
in.
not subscribed.
Salaki King. Go ahead.
I was just saying, there's no way he can blend in.
Yeah, ain't no way.
Yet, watch this video until the end, and if it's relevant to you, subscribe not to miss the upcoming content. Come with me and discover now who Shem, the firstborn of Noah. And Noah said, "Blessed be the God of Shem." Perhaps you have never heard of it, but did you know that Abraham had an ancestral father who gave rise to the people called Semites? This ancestral father of Abraham was Shem, the firstborn son of Noah. The Bible informs us that Abraham was originally from Ur of the Chaldeans.
Look at this. Is that Abraham? Is this is not even how to. Is that Abraham, man? Looking like the man that they say is an Arab on the damn. Yeah, man. DJ Khaled got more damn what's called than him, man. Come on, man. This is madness.
Descended from the Chaldean people who inhabited the region of Mesopotamia around 2000 BC. He was a descendant of Shem, one of Noah's sons, and belonged to the Semitic lineage. Abraham grew up in a polytheistic culture but was called by God to become the father of a great nation and leave everything he knew to follow a new path. Another curious people, also brethren of the Chaldeans, were the Arameans of Aram. The Arameans were a Semitic people, descendants of Aram, one of Shem's sons, according to biblical genealogy. They inhabited a vast region in Mesopotamia, with territories stretching from northeastern Syria, through southern Turkey and northern Mesopotamia, to parts of Iraq.
I want you to notice how what he's talking about right now, there is no biblical text. Let's go to Genesis 10:21. There's no biblical text telling you this.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, and verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born.
Read on.
The children of Shem, Elon and Asher, of Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz and Hol, Gether and Mash.
So right there, that's where it stops, where it talks about Aram. It doesn't go into Aram living somewhere. It doesn't go into anything about Aram. There's no expounding on Aram. You can't assert what you want to assert into something and say it's biblical. There's nothing goes into that. There's nowhere, we don't find that in here. Right? Let's go back down. Let's go to Genesis 11 and read verse 12.
Genesis 11 and 12. And Arphaxad lived 35 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. Verse 14. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. Verse 20.
You can start right there. Do anybody see an account of Aram again, going into his lineage and the Aramites and where they lived? Does anybody see that? Did anybody hear that in the text? Right, jump to verse 27.
Con. Verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Aram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. Verse 29. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child.
So as you see, there's no expounding on Aram and the Aramites. There's no expounding on where they lived at. That's not in there. And he's lying about where they lived at, because the land that he's talking about, right, is literally the land that Abraham literally takes. Right? And it tells you who was taking up that land, the Canaanites. So he's just flat out lying. Right? Let's go back to the video.
Around the second millennium BC, the Arameans began to form a territorially unified state, with their cities and kingdoms gradually developing. They excelled in skills such as agriculture, metallurgy, and trade, becoming a prosperous people. Abraham had relations with them, being also a Semitic people descended from Shem. Additionally,
what account is there of Abraham having a relationship with the Arameans? Let's look at something.
Do that in there.
Kind of winging it, man. This is why you can't trust the so-called white man. Let's see. Look at that. 0 concordances with the Aramites in the Bible. 0. Right? Well, maybe I'm tripping. Right? Look at that. 0 concordances with Arameans in the Bible. Where is he getting this knowledge from?
Hey, Esau, he kind of got fan fiction on the Bible, man. He trying to be included so bad. Kind of come up with what he want to.
It's absolute madness. Let's go back to it.
Arabs and all the peoples of the Middle East are also part of the Semitic peoples. The Semitic ethnicity encompasses peoples such as the Hebrews and Israelites, as well as the Arabs. They share this common ancestry from Abraham. Abraham, also known as Ibrahim in some traditions, is a central figure in the major monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. He is considered the spiritual father.
Hey, Ak, you got a bird in your background.
Father of the 3 religions, and is revered for his qualities of faith and obedience to God. Over time, due to
Hi guys, I'm Don Gaming, and today I want to talk about one of the hottest strategy PC games you can play today, State of Survival. SOS has received
to various diasporas, the Jewish people, also known as Hebrews, ended up mingling with European peoples, losing many characteristics of their Semitic ethnicity.
Did you hear what he... Hold on, man.
We intermingle with the European peoples.
First of all, he says, the brother said Abraham ham sandwich, right? Look, he said the Jewish people first. I want to deal with that first. He said the Jewish people. That's what he said, right? Hold on. Let's go back to the concordances. And we'll get some precepts as well, man. The only concordance of Jewish is Jewish fables. Right? There's no term, there's no Jewish people. That's not in there. It doesn't talk about having Jewish people, man. Right? That's not in there, man. Right? Now let's get some precepts. So we intermingled, right, with the what he said, the Roman people is what he said. Right?
I think he said Europeans.
The European people, right? Let's get the classic. Right? Let's get Numbers 1:18.
God, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, in verse 18. It reads, "And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, by their polls."
So one, your pedigree is determined by your father, right? So what your father is, that's what you are, right? Now, let's touch on the fact of what he just said, right? He says that we intermingle with the English or the Roman people or whatever, and we lost a lot of our traits, right? Trying to line it up with the so-called Jewish man today being an actual Jew. That's what he's aiming at. And I would bet you $1 million that that's who owns that channel, right? Let's go to the book of Romans, right? Chapter 11 and verse 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, and verse number 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Right. So literally it's telling you right now that what? Paul is telling you right now that he's an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, right? Now let's see if Paul lost any of his characteristics, right? Paul was in the time of Rome. Paul was in the Roman captivity. Paul was post-Christ in the Roman captivity, meaning the Israelites were deep into the Roman captivity at that time, right? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 19, I believe I want. Let's find out. I'm sick of these Edomites, man. They damn lying. All they do is lie, right? All they do is lie. Go to Acts 19, I think 121. Let me see. Let me be sure. What the hell, man? (21 and 36).
21 and 36. Gotcha. This is the book of Acts, chapter 21, and verse number 36. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, "Away with him." And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, "May I speak unto thee?" Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?" But Paul said, "I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people."
Right. So look, they asked Paul, is he not a Egyptian? They were surprised that he could speak. Can you speak Greek? They were surprised. So everybody knows the ancient Egyptians were what color? Dark-skinned, woolly-haired people. And he's asking Paul, aren't thou that Egyptian? So if we lost a lot of our traits, right, due to being intermingling with the Romans, why Paul, years into the Roman captivity, years and years into the Roman captivity, why is it that Paul is still looking like a so-called black man? How do we deal with that? To the point where they asked, is he an Egyptian? He was dark, man. He was dark. And you can say, well, the Greeks, they kind of took over Egypt with Ptolemy and so on and so forth. You had Edomites out there. But he said, art thou? He said he was surprised he could speak Greek. So he knew he didn't look white. If he looked white, he wouldn't ask him, are you, hey, why can you speak Greek? He knew that already. So he wasn't one of the Greeks that lived in Egypt, because he would have looked at him and knew he was a Greek. He was surprised that he could speak Greek because he was dark skin color. And he was a Roman citizen. Told you he was born in Tarsus, that's in Rome. Yet he still has his traits. So that's a lie. Let's go to Acts 13 and 1.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, and verse 1. It reads, "Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon that was called Nigger, and Lucius of Cyrene and Manaman, which had been brought up with Herod and Tetrarch and Saul.
You see that? Called nigger. Now, we know some people are going to say, well, that's not actual nigger. Well, let's go to the word. Right, let's play it first. What it say?
Strong's G 3526. Niger. Niger.
Hey, they'll tell you that because it don't got double G in it, that is Niger. But he's telling you how to say it. It's what? Let's say it, play it again.
Strong's G 3526. Niger. Niger.
Let's go to what the word means. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It says it means black.
Got an L for that.
It says it means black. What do you do with that? Oh, I ain't got my screen showing. It's a lot. Let me share my screen so they can see that. It's a lot. Goddamn. Share my screen. What that say right there?
That's a nigger.
Black.
That's a nigger.
Ain't no way around it, man. Ain't no way around it. How do you deal with that? Right? But he says that we mixed with the Roman people and now we lost our traits. Clearly, we ain't lost our traits, man. So the Most High God, we look like the Most High God. We look like his son. And he gonna allow his people, his chosen people, to stop looking like him? What does the Lord look like? What does his son look like, man? What tribe is his son from? Right? Let's go to Hebrews 7:14. Let's prove something.
Not only
Hey,
that, he said Shem mingled with the Europeans. This is all the way back during Shem. This is Shem. This ain't even the time of Yahweh Shai. We should have been looking like Edomites. Hebrews 7:14, King.
Come.
It says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
So it said Yahweh Shai sprang out of Judah. Right now, it's maybe rudimentary for most people that's watching the video. That's part of the channel already. But nonetheless, we got new people that's going to come look at this. So we got to tackle this. Right? Let's go to how does Christ look? The Judite. How does he look? How does our Lord and Savior look? Who's a Judite? Let's get that. Revelation 1:14.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice as the sound of many waters.
And that's pretty plain upon tables. He's a dark-skinned black man, right? With what? With woolly hair, right? With woolly hair, with red eyes, man. And hey, what? Christ was born in the time of the Romans, man. Was he not? Was Christ not born in the time of the Romans? But he didn't lose his features. Yeah, how do you deal with this, man? Let's go to Daniel chapter 10.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 10. Wow. You want me to start from the top?
Nah, 10 and what is it, 6?
10 and 6. That's the book of Daniel, chapter 10, and verse number 6. It reads, his body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
See that, and that's who is that? That's the archangel archangel Gabriel, right? Let's go to prove that. Let's go to Daniel 8:16.
God.
God.
This is the book of
This is the
Daniel,
book of Daniel,
chapter 8,
chapter 8,
and verse
and verse
16.
16.
And I heard a
And I heard
man's
a man's
voice
voice
between the
between
banks
the
of
banks of
Ulai,
Ulai,
which called
which
and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
So that's Gabriel the angel, right? So we read that Christ looks like a so-called black man, right? We read that the angel looked like a so-called black man. Christ, who was a Israelite, born in the time of what? The Romans, when he said we intermingled and lost our features. Right now we're reading that the angels are so-called black men. Let's see what the angels say about themselves. Go to Revelation 22 and verse 8.
God.
God.
This is the book of
This is the book of
Revelation, chapter 22, and verse 8.
verse 8.
And I,
And I,
John,
John,
saw these things and heard them. And when I had
And when I
heard
had
and
heard
seen,
and seen,
I fell
I
down
fell
to
down
worship
to worship
before the feet of the angel which showed me these things.
Read on.
Verse 9. Then saith he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God.
So he said, I am thy brethren. The angels are our brethren. They're our brethren. We just read that Gabriel, which is an angel, looks just like what? A so-called black man. So you telling me that the Lord, he made his son look like a so-called black man, right? He made the angel look like a so-called black man. The Lord looked like a so-called black man. And his people he made look like a so-called black man. But for some reason in the world, he allowed his people to look like the people he cursed. How do you deal with that? The so-called white man is cursed. His lack of skin color is a curse. That's not a blessing. That's a curse. The Lord tell you he cursed him. Go to Sirach 33 and 14. Jay got to know, every time you see the word curse in the Bible, does not mean it's pertaining to the curses that we under for breaking the commandments. That's not the same thing.
God, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death.
Read 11, Slide.
God, verse 11. And in much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them, and made their ways diverse. Some of them he hath blessed and exalted, and some of them he hath sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places.
Now, explain to me who are the people that the Lord blessed and sanctified and set near to himself. And who is the man that is cursed, man? Go to Isaiah 34 and 5. Let's find out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse number 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Idumea is another word for Edom, Esau, right? The people whom we've cursed to judgment. They're cursed to judgment, man, right? They're cursed to judgment. Part of the judgment they already got was the fact they were born with no melanin. What happened? We read it in Cain. The Lord set a mark upon them. That was a curse that was afflicted upon them, right? The same way, what happened to Uzziah when he didn't want to humble down, right? The Lord cursed him with what? Leprosy. Not even a full body of leprosy. It's kind of just on his forehead, man. Right? And what is leprosy? No pigmentation, no melanin. So-called white man is born cursed, man. The Lord is not going to curse his people, his chosen seed, the whole line of his chosen seed, pollute them, right? From looking like him, who he created. For what reason? Now you got a bunch of, look, they want us to believe this. Let's pull this up. Here's what they want us to believe. Let's pull this up. They want us to believe this. They want us to believe that that's how they look now. Is this the Lord's people? Is this the Most High's people?
Golly.
Right? Where
Them locks is nasty.
Where in the Bible, right, do the Lord talk about wearing a yarmulke? What precept is that? That's what he wants you to believe. That's what he's trying. This is the whole video. That's why I said I believe the so-called Jewish man owns this channel. This whole video is predicated on trying to get you to believe that the people you see today are the Lord's chosen people. He's watering it down and trying to say it, right? But that's not what's going on. We know better, man. The Lord has woken up his people, man. We're not foolish, right? Look at this, man. This is madness. It's the Lord, and these people are converts. These are not even the people who are the Amalekites. The Amalekites, I'm gonna show you how you know an Amalekite. Adam Sandler is Amalekite. Well, they don't want they kind of look, Jewish man, they kind of took it up off of here, man. You used to be able to type it in and it pull right up. They got a distinctive nose. Right? Let's get a picture of Adam Sandler. Look at his nose. You see that nose? That ugly ass nose he got? That's the Jewish man's nose right there, man. That ugly ass nose is the Jewish man's nose. Right? Is that what's going on, man? This is what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that this man is the Jewish man. This man's a Jew. This man is the Lord's people. No, man. We're not believing that. That's folly and madness, man. Your brother back in here. Right? Let's go back to the video.
Nevertheless,
See? I haven't even watched the video, you see? I told you what they were setting it up for. I knew it.
Semitic people, despite European influences in their culture. Interactions with other cultures resulted in cultural blends and influences, but the Semitic heritage remained present in the traditions and identities of these peoples. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, and Esau are all descendants of Shem, the son of Noah. Shem had 5 sons, Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. From these 5 sons of Shem,
Shem had way more than 5 sons, but go ahead.
Several Semitic peoples emerged. They mainly inhabited the Mesopotamian region, including Iran, Iraq, and Syria, as well as Aran, also known as Syria. The ethnicity of Semitic peoples are often referred to as yellow peoples due to
Yellow peoples?
Did he say yellow peoples?
This man said yellow peoples. Maybe I don't know the Bible. Because I thought this was supposed to be a biblical breakdown. It says Unraveling the Scriptures is the name of their title, the name of their channel. I thought this was biblical. Not just, throwing something in the dark, kind of hoping it sticks. I thought it was biblical, man. Let me see something.
He just lost all his credibility when he said that.
Oh man. Maybe it's in the NIV. Maybe I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's in the NLT. Maybe it's in the NLT. No, it's not in there. Maybe it's in the ESV. No, still not in there. Maybe it's in the NIV. No, still not in there. Maybe it's in the, where is it, the TS? Oh, the NASB. They like the NASB. Maybe it's in the NASB. No, it's not in there. Yellow people. Let's go to Google. Of course, they were known as yellow people. This man is just lying. The only man that's even close to yellow, which we don't even call him yellow, would be the so-called Asian man. See what we got here. Look what it says. East Asian.
Share your screen up.
Oh, so like my screen ain't sharing? Damn, why you tell me that? Salakia. Damn, my whole little spiel was gone. I didn't even show it on my screen. Well, I got to go back to it then. All right, look. The yellow people, you Google it, look what it say. East Asian. Look at this. Look who come up. Asians. Yellow people ain't even a term. Besides when you're dealing with the so-called Asian man. Let me go back to where I went earlier. So now my screen showing Salakia to the people. I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. Right? Let's type it in here. The Bible concordance. Right? So we see it's not in Google except for referring to Asian people like twice. Right? And now we see in the Bible, it's nowhere there, man. It's not there. It don't matter what version of the Bible we go to, man. It's not there. It's not in there. This man, this cracker is just lying. And it's sad, right? It's disgusting. Yellow people. Where in the scriptures does it talk about yellow people, man? Where in the Bible did the Lord say anything about yellow people, man? Right? What does it say? Anything about yellow people or blonde hair, man? Hey, get that curse. It's Leviticus 13. It started 29.
Hear me out? Hear me? God, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13. Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
Right. So anything dealing with yellow in hair. Hey, you call? Oh yeah, Con. And brothers said they can't really hear you. I can hear you, but it's not that strong though, right? So you might want to put your headphones back in. All right, let's get back to it, man. This is a lot of folly, and our people be eating these things up, man. We're gonna go through the comment board and see what people are saying too. And I knew he was trying to set it up to say that the so-called Jewish man today is a Jew. All these videos are dedicated to that.
Their geographical location. His skin tone was fair and tanned by the sun.
Where does geographical location ever determine your skin color or your hair? There's yellow people in Africa, so-called people that you would call yellow bone in Africa, in South Africa. There's yellow bone people in Jamaica. Where in the hell do you ever determine what somebody looks like depending on where they come from? The so-called Native Americans, who y'all called tree niggers, lived in Canada, man, and Alaska. They still had dark skin and woolly hair.
Their physical features included hooked noses and dark.
Didn't I bring up the nose? I told you what he was trying to do.
It's a coup. This was
You
all
see
planned.
that? I brought up the nose. I said the nose. And he tried to bring up I knew what he was setting up, man. This man is the damn devil, man. And if I see this man in the street, man, look, man, hey, It's going down.
Straight or wavy hair, as depicted in various images.
Draped or wavy. So go to the book of Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. And I'm not saying that we don't have Israelites that have, wavy hair or curly hair or even somewhat straight hair. My daughter and my youngest son have both. Very curly and thin hair, right? So I understand that. But to say that is just an outright lie, man. Go ahead, King.
Khan, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds, and people and tongues,
No,
stood before the throne.
I want Revelation. I said Revelation. I want Daniel 7 and 9.
Khan. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse number 9. It reads, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair on his head like the pure wool.
Pure wool. The Most High God has woolly hair, right? And he made a good portion of his people to have such, man, right? Let's go back to it, man.
Of ancient Assyrian kings. Archaeological discoveries in Egypt also prove that the ancient Semites or peoples of the Middle East had a tan and yellowish skin tone, unlike Egyptian peoples.
This man keeps lying. You got your Zondervan on you, King?
I go get it. I go grab it.
I think I got it. I'm sure I got it. Let's see what his own scholars say. Like, we're gonna go to Ham for a reason, right? Let's see what his own people say. Right. So this is the Zondervan. His own people are going to find him a liar. This is a Zondervan compact Bible dictionary under the name Ham. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and the Canaanites, right? So the Negroes, another dark skin tone people, didn't come from Ham, right? Now, we just read earlier on that the Jews were called nigger, which is black man. We read that Paul was literally thought to be an Egyptian, which he just said is a dark man. So help me understand how these so-called Semitic people that you're talking about, I don't know what this looked like something my son colored. Ladies calling archaeology, right? What is this? What is this?
Who tended to have a darker brown skin tone. These physical and cultural differences between the Semitic and Egyptian peoples reflected their distinct origins and characteristics in the historical.
This man is lying. Hey, go to the book of Hebrews 11 and 26. Start at 13. Hebrews 11 and 13.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and verse number 13. It reads, These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
23, Slaka. 23, all right.
23?
Yeah, Hebrews 11 and 23.
Verse 23, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment.
So Moses, a Semitic person, an Israelite, right, was what? Hidden and was sent into Egypt, right? Read on.
Verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Get that next verse.
God. Verse 26. Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Matter of fact, get the next one.
Verse 27. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he in
Brother kind of froze, right? So literally, we read in the book of Hebrews to show you that Noah, which was an Israelite, which would have been a Shemitic person, right? Literally was literally living as what? Pharaoh's grandson, right? The same Pharaoh that wanted to kill all the Hebrew boys. If he was distinctly different, easily told the difference between them, he would never been able to live in Pharaoh's house as Pharaoh's grandson. He would never had the opportunity and the choice to say, you know what, I'm gonna go suffer with my people. He would have been killed the moment he was brought in. They would have knew he was a Hebrew. They didn't know that he was a Hebrew because what? There was not that great of a distinct difference between them. This man is lying, and it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting, man. Right? Let's go back to the video.
Region of the Middle East. Shem was the older brother of Ham, the younger brother, and he was also the brother of Japheth. Remembering that Ham gave rise to Africans, to black peoples, and Japheth gave rise to European.
You see how he did that again? To black peoples. No, man. We just read in your own people's scholarship that the so-called man that you call black today is not of him. And we got a video on here that we've already done going into debunking you the video you called Ham the progenitor of the black people. We already debunked that.
White peoples and also to Asians.
See that? He tried to say Japhet, the white man come from Japhet. The so-called white man come from Japhet is what he's saying. I knew what he was setting up. The damn so-called white man that you call Jewish today, right? He's Semitic. He's not the same as the so-called white man that come from Japhet, who's every other white man. You a liar, man. Yes, Japhet settled in Europe. We all know that. But just because that's where he settled at does not mean the people that's in Europe today are the same people. They were chased in to the seas. They were called the Etruscans. Let me get this. Even if you want to just deal with history, man. Foolish man. These were the people that you would have called the people that you called Japhethites, the Etruscans, right? The Etruscans are the people you know today that settled in the Philippines, the Manilas, the Hawaiians, the all those people are Etruscans. Those are Japhethites, right? The Etruscans were also known as, this is what they called them when you had the Etruscan Wars, right? We'll go to this real quick. This man is just outrightly lying, right? It says, the Etruscan civilization was developed by a people in Etruria in ancient Italy, right? The land that he's talking about, with a common language and culture forming federation of cities and states. After conquering the adjacent lands, its territory covered the greatest extent, roughly what is now Tuscany, Western Umbria, right, which is England, and Northern Lazaria, which is England, and as well as now Po Valley, Emilia, Romania, southeastern Lombardy, and southern Veneto and western Campania. Those are all different European lands. This is the place where literally the Japhites settled. They were Etruscans, right? It says what? The earliest evidence of the culture identifiably the Etruscan dates from about 900 BC. This is the period of the Iron Age and Villanovan culture, considered to be the earliest phase of Etruscan civilization, which itself developed from the previous late Bronze Age Proto-Villanovian culture. The same region, part of Central European unified culture system. The Etruscan civilization dominated Italy until it fell to the expanding Rome. So how are they the same people? How are they the same people? The Romans are the one that pushed the Etruscans out. So the people that were in the land of England, which you know, Rome and so on and so forth, that were in that land aren't the same people that's there now. So they don't work. History don't line up with what you're talking about. You're a liar. Let's go back to it, man.
Shem, in turn, gave rise to the Semitic peoples. Among the Semitic peoples were the Hebrews, the Ishmaelites, the Hyksos peoples, the Aramean peoples, the Assyrian peoples, and the Chaldean peoples, among others. The Chaldean peoples and the Assyrian peoples, from Assyria, are some of the best-known Semitic peoples. By the 19th century BC, Chaldea had emerged as an important cultural and political center. They built prosperous cities such as Ur and Babylon and developed an advanced economy based on
The Assyrians did not build Babylon. Babylon was built by Cushites. That's ancient Cush, which is
agriculture, trade, and crafts. Under the reign of King
go there.
Nebuchadnezzar II, Chaldea reached its zenith as a great empire. Nebuchadnezzar expanded the empire's.
Look, they got Nebuchadnezzar, so-called white man. Nebuchadnezzar is a Cushite. Babylon, ancient and Neo, are Cush, descendants of Cush. They have one of the vast and mightiest reigns up to the Israelites.
Built grandiose palaces and is famous for his conquest of Jerusalem, which resulted in the destruction of the first temple and the exile of the Jewish people. The ancient Elamites were also descendants of Shem. The Elamites were an ancient people who inhabited the historical region of Elam, located in the southwest of the Iranian plateau. According to historical records, they were already established in this region around the 3rd millennium BC. Elam became a powerful kingdom, rivaling other great powers of the time such as the Sumerians and Akkadians. They had a rich culture and their own script, known as Elamite script, which
in a world where dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in the eye might be to blame.
Feel the ache and burn.
One man learns the truth. Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating.
Right, I want to touch this real quick, man. Right, because he tried to lump Nebuchadnezzar. He doesn't understand. He don't understand history, and he don't understand the scriptures. He tried to lump Nebuchadnezzar in, right, as the Assyrian king. Right now, don't get me wrong. Nebuchadnezzar is referred to as an Assyrian king, but he's referred to as an Assyrian king because he destroyed Assyria, right, and he took over the whole Assyrian rulership. Right. Let's go to this real quick. Let's go to the book of Tobit. Right, it's the book of Tobit, chapter 14, and verse 4. It says, "Go into Media, my son, for I surely believe those things which Jonas the prophet spake of Nineveh, and it shall be overthrown, that for a time peace shall rather be in Media, and that our brethren shall lie scattered in the earth from that good land, and Jerusalem shall be desolate, and the house of the Most High in it shall be burned, and shall be desolate for a time. And that again the Most High will have mercy on them that bring again into the land where they shall build a temple, but not like the first until the time of the age be fulfilled. And afterward they shall return from all their place in captivity and build Jerusalem gloriously, and house and the house of the Most High shall be built in it forever with a glorious building, and the prophets have spoken of. So what? Tobit is telling Tobias to flee and go into Media, right? Because what? Jonah already prophesied that what? Nineveh will be destroyed. Nineveh was a land, one of the chief lands, one of the chief places in the Assyrian rulership, the high-ranking city in the Assyrian rulership, right? Now, who was the person that destroyed and brought it down, right? This is the book of Judah, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city, in the days of Arphaxad, which reigned over the Medes and Ecbatane. So Nebuchadnezzar is the person that took over, who destroyed Nineveh and took the land. Nebuchadnezzar was not an Assyrian. He had nothing. The Assyrians and the Babylonians are not the same people. They're different. One is an Elamite, which would be the Assyrians, and one is a Cushite, man. The Babylonians. They're not the same people. The king that was reigning, the two well-known kings that reigned in the Assyrian captivity would be King Salmanasar and King let's go to it. Let's go to 2 Kings. Let's go to it. Right? This is 2 Kings. I want chapter 17. Right? Let's go to 2 Kings, verse. I want the name of the king. Salaki, bear with me. Come on. 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 3. Against him came up Salmanasar, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant and gave him his presence. Right? So the king of Assyria was the king Salmanasar, right? Which you read in Tobit. It says Elimanzer, but it's talking about Salmanasar, the same king, right? Now let's go to 2 Kings chapter 18 and verse. Let's get the other king. Let's get, bear with me. It's been a minute since I pulled this. Right, it's Sennacherib, but I want to read the precept. I want to read it where it calls him by his name. Bear with me, bear with me. All right, it might be 19 or 20. Man,
Used in
it's
inscription.
a lot. Bear with me, I'm gonna find it. Come on. 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 20. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent Hezekiah, saying, thus saith the power of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. So Salmanasar and Sennacherib, and those are the same two names that you see in the book of Tobit. Literally the same two names you see in the book of Tobit, right? It's absolute and utter madness, right? Nebuchadnezzar, he literally destroyed the Assyrians, man, and took over their rulership and all their provinces, man. Right? Let's go back to it. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I might not get through this whole video, man, because there's some points he said that I kind of want to go back on, but I'm gonna let it ride.
And official documents. The Elamites, the Ammonites, and the Moabites came from the descendants of Lot.
What account do we have about the? Go to Genesis, brother, you call Genesis 19. Shalakia.
It's like my connection completely cut off.
It's all good, King. Satan try to take away the word. Right, go to Genesis 19 and 24. No, Salakia. 19 and 30. You ain't got to start at 30. Let's start at 34. I think you froze again, King. Oh, you ain't froze. You on mute. No, I can't hear you. All right, I'm gonna read it. Right. It says it's the book of Genesis chapter 19. He said that Elam was a descendant of Lot. This is Genesis chapter 19 and verse. I'm gonna start at 34. And it came to pass on tomorrow that the firstborn said to the younger, "Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him a drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father." And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Right? And that's it. It doesn't go into any more about Lot after that. So please explain to me where it tells you that literally Lot was the progenitor of the Elamites. That's not in there. You're lying. That's not in there. Right? Let's go to the book real quick of where I want to go to. Let's go to Genesis 10 and 22.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 22. And the children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hol, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born
You can
two
rest right there.
sons.
You can rest right there. It says the children of Shem, Elam, not the children of Lot. The children of Shem, Elam. Elam came before Lot. Lot was the cousin of Abraham. The hell are you talking about? You have no business talking about unraveling the scriptures. The scriptures got you all raveled up. You all jammed up. You don't know what the hell going on. Right? Let's go to real quick. Let's get another precept. Go to Genesis 14 and 9.
That's the book of Genesis, chapter 14, and verse number 9. With Chedor Laomer, the king of Elam, with title king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elisar, 4 kings with 5. And the valley of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled into the mountain.
So literally, the king of Elam, meaning the nation of Elam was already established, fought with Abraham to get Lot back. How in the hell is Lot the progenitor of them when Abraham fought with the king of Elam to get Lot back from the people that held him captive? This is complete madness. Utter madness. And these are the people that our people listen to, man. Let's go back to it, man. We're about to, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. We're going to wind down. I got another video I want to do, man. So, I'm going to wind down. This is how you can't trust these people. And I knew the whole thing, like I said, was setting it up to show you, talking about the so-called Jewish man is the real people. That's who own that channel. They think with the crafty, make it look good and it look all nice, and you got the narrator in the background. Oh, he must be telling the truth. No, he put one precept on the screen the whole video. Genesis 9:26. Not one other precept. This is just like Christianity. This is just like the church.
And the video is two-thirds finished.
9 minutes long and one precept.
In the future, I will make a video about the people who came from Lot, who were also Semitic people, because of their relationship with Abraham of Ur of the Chaldeans. The name Shem means the heir or the first in ancient Assyrian. In Hebrew and Phoenician, it just means name. Its linguistic
You know what? I'm going to leave it alone.
etymology is related to the Semitic ethnicity of the peoples of the Middle East. The term can also be associated with the color yellow or a connotation of Orientals in its linguistic.
All right, we're done. All right, look, I might damn throw my laptop at the wall if I keep watching this. I might throw my laptop at the wall, man, if I keep watching this, man. This is absolute and utter madness, man. Right? Hey, Lord willing, brothers and sisters was edified. I'm gonna be back, through the Spirit, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? The brother you call will, and maybe another brother will be back. You know what I'm saying? In the next, 30 minutes or so, with another video, man, going into something else. So y'all, continue to stay in the Spirit during this Day of Atonement. Continue to feed your spirit with things that are righteous. Stay off of social media. You know what I'm saying? Stay off of watching regular TV shows. Continue to examine yourself and stay in the Spirit, man. That's why I'm doing these videos, to help Israel stay in the Spirit versus, getting too much into themselves of watching things they don't need to watch during the Day of Atonement. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be back in like another 30 minutes, Lord willing. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.